Hello, so this is a video of our new tent and me trying to set it up, and there's loads of chapters. If you want to jump straight to the bit that you're interested in, you might be more interested in the fitting the Ozone 8 Sunwing to the 6 tent. It's a bit of a niche thing, but I thought I'd put it on here for you. So this is the first time I've tried the tent. This is the ground sheet, and I was quite surprised to find that it came in two pieces. So I had to guess which one was which, and in fact the smaller of the two, this one here, that's got like rounded edges. So I've realised that was probably the front. So I'm just putting those together. There you can see them there. Look. This tent is ridiculously heavy. It's 50 kilograms, so although I can get it out of the car on my own, getting it back in again would have been quite difficult without my wife's help. Here we've got a goat giving us a hand and carried off. So yes, because it's the first time I pitched it, the tent itself was kind of packed in the factory, so it's all a bit weird. I had to find out which corners was which. It comes with loads of pegs, but none of the pegs don't seem to be the right number of pegs for any function. So I just guessed here, and in hindsight I've used the ground sheet pegs, which have got like a flat top, but they're quite handy. I think I might get some more of those for ground sheets, because it means if you tread on them you don't hurt yourself, and also they're not going to damage the tent. See the cat helping me? Setting up the pump. You get the pump with it. At this point, I haven't read the instructions. It's one of those things, you got to read the manual. And I couldn't understand why every time I pulled the pump out, the thing was going down again. So I had to quickly check the manual. And yeah, in fact, there's a button. You press the button in, and it pops out. Once it's popped out, it's kind of locked, so air doesn't come out again. And these air beams are actually quite unusual in that they can't be overinflated. They've got an escape valve, which seems like an obvious thing to have on a tent, on an air tent, but apparently it's quite a unique thing. They're also guaranteed for life, which is quite cool. So there's 5 air beams, and once I've worked out how to pump them up, they go up quite quickly. It's hard work though. I tell you, you can buy an electric pump, but it's good to have the exercise, isn't it? Again, using the wrong pegs probably. And I'm just spacing them out better, so it's the roof's nice and taut. So the tent was meant to come for our last proper holiday, but DPD messed up and it didn't come on time. So we decided to book this very short weekend, or long weekend, sorry, in Pickering, just to test the tent out, put it up, make sure we've got everything. Everything's in the bags, and it's all okay. This is a little rain shelter. I don't know how useful that would be. And then again, because it was factory packed, none of these guidelines were set up properly. So I think I've probably pegged them way too close to the tent because they didn't quite work properly. I think they probably need to come out again a bit further. It was a bit windy. It was a bit damp, but it didn't rain too hard, so the tent was nice and dry when we took it home. Which was a relief, because we've got nowhere to dry it because it's so big. It's over 8 meters long and just over 4 meters wide. So again, because it was factory packed, it didn't have the bedrooms set up, so this was a surprise that I wasn't expecting to do. Luckily, there are some coloured tabs on it. So I don't know if you can see that one I just put up there is red, and there's a yellow one behind it, and once you line those up it seems to go up quite easily. It's just finding all the points, it's where the effort goes. But you can see how big it is inside, and you can divide the living area into two. So we had like a kitchen at the front and the lounge in the middle. And the bedrooms were about right size for a bedroom. They're good. So I'm now putting on the front porch. It's best to open the doors because you're going to be stepping in and out when you're doing this bit. It's got a zip, which is quite nice. On our last tent we had a Outwell 6P, Montana 6P, and putting up the front porch was a nightmare. Whereas this is nice and easy, but you have to be quite tall. I'm 6'1", and if you notice I struggled to reach that middle bit there, and it was worse when you bring it down. So I think in the future I'll probably put some paracord on the zip so you can grab it from a distance and pull it, you know. But again, it's an air beam, so this is the 6th air beam. So you're really getting a good workout when you're putting up this tent. It's hard to do with one person though, because you really need someone to hold the air beam while it's being pumped up. So I've decided to just peg it out temporarily. I think our biggest problem now is going to be finding campsites that will take such a big tent. This one had a really nice big pitches, and the one we went to in the summer in near Abersock, that was also nice and big. So we'll definitely go there again. So we're going to use the front porch for things like shoes and if it's wet weather. It comes with a ground sheet. You can see it there in the foreground. But I didn't put that down. I didn't think we'd need it, but on the second day we decided to put it down anyway to see what it was like, and it was actually quite handy. You can stick your camping chairs in there, and you can just look out these windows. It's quite nice, you know, if it's raining. So I think I've done it right. Again, it's really hard work. We'll get the curtains open in a minute, but I think that's it. It's harder than it looks on the video, but I think it's alright. So this is basically going to be like a porch for wet stuff. Oh, bear with me, I'll find the zip. These doors open. You can either have them one side or the other side, or you can have the whole thing open. And then, so this is where we put shoes and barbecue when it's done with, and bits and bobs that stay dry but don't want to get in the tent. So I've now got to put the bedroom up and put the carpets down, because there's carpets with it. But I think the tent, and open the curtains, I think the tent is finished. Okay, so we bought a new tent. It's an Ozone 6 XTR, and it was the end of line, so we've got a really good deal on it. But we couldn't find a sunwing. Well, I actually bought the wrong sunwing, so I bought this Ozone 8 sunwing. You can see that, Ozone 8. And by accident, and when I tried to replace it, when I realised it was the wrong one, there are no 6s available. So I came up with this idea to try and fit it to this tent, and I'm going to show you how I've done it, or if it works. So here we go. Okay, so make sure. The problem's got so I've got a thing out here, and you can see it's quite long, and the problems that they have are that these clips, so these carabiners, I've got that right, these carabiners clip into these tabs on the tent, and there's 4 sets of tabs and 4 sets of carabiners, so that's okay. See there, and there's there, and set there. But the problem is they're spaced differently for on the canopy compared to the tent. So those first 2 seem to be okay. You can see those, but these ones won't reach. So my idea was to make a very long pole. So this is just a pole kit from Amazon. I made a very long pole. It's 2 4-meter. You can buy an 8-meter pole kit, but the poles are very thick if you do that. And the problem you've got is that the carabiner, I'm hoping you can see this, the carabiner, where has it gone? The problem is the carabiner has to be able to clip on, which it does with this width of pole, but I don't think it would do with a much thicker one. So I went for, instead of going for an 8-meter pole kit, I went for 2 4-meter pole kits. And I've made this ridiculously long pole. I mean, that is stupid. But I'm not expecting to need this length. I've only done it because it's easier to have it here and cut bits off it in the field, if you like. So I'm expecting to lose 2, maybe 3 segments of this pole. So it'll still be pretty long. So the idea is that the pole's going to go through these, like that. And the carabiners are going to clip to the pole instead of clipping to these things. And I just hope there isn't too much overlay on this side, on both ends, because it's a much longer canopy than the 6. So I'm going to set it up and I'll show you the result. Okay, so after a bit of messing about, I've got this pole coming through here. I could probably attach that to there actually, because that'll be better structurally, I think. It'll stop it moving about. So I'll do that, and then the same with that one. Do that. And there was a problem in that this beam, for some reason, this air beam seems like it's higher than the others. So put this bit of paper in here, just to protect it. I don't want to break the air beam, that would be a nightmare. And then it looks as if we can get rid of 1, 2, 3 poles. So, I mean, it's not ideal, is it? But it might work. Once I've pegged it out, which I'll do now, I'll show you the result. This isn't the best weather to do it, it's a bit windy, so I think this solution is a fair weather one at best. But we'll see how it goes. I'm going to try and peg it out now. Right, and I'll cut the poles later when I get home, I think. Yeah, okay. Okay, that was hard work. Now I've possibly not pegged it out correctly because it was very difficult with just me. Having 2 people would probably help. It's not ideal. I think it's at the limit of its structural strength. The biggest problem is about here. You can see how this is dipping down. Can you check the camera? This keeps happening. I think there's just too much pull on those ones there. It is the centre. But you know, on a really sunny, hot day, no wind. Is it still useful to have it? Possibly. Yeah, I don't know how long it's going to last though. And I think if there's any more than the wind we've got today, it will probably fall apart. But if you've done the same thing as me and you've bought an 8 Sunwing and you've got a 6 tent, then it's not, you don't necessarily have to, you know, put it on eBay or anything. You can still use it, possibly. Yeah, so there you go. Not ideal, but I mean it still works as a Sunwing. So we'll see how long those poles last. I think that's the thing. And I need to cut probably 3 poles off to make that pole more manageable as well. Yeah, look how bendy it is. I don't think that's going to last long. Okay, well there you go. So an 8 Sunwing on a 6 tent. Goodbye. One thing I forgot to mention is that we have actually got the front porch on. So you can probably see that if you've only got the 6 and not the front porch, then this would be too big. You'd be overhanging the edges. I mean, you could go back a little bit onto the bedrooms, probably quite a bit actually. So you might still get it in. But then you've got the problem of the pole. You've got the problem of the pole poking out ridiculously too far. Where that probably won't work at all. So yeah. A quick addendum. This is the there you go. This is the patio carpet for the 6 XTR Safari tent. And if you look at this picture, I don't know if you can see it actually, but you'll see it looks like it fits perfectly on the 6. But this carpet, and it also looks like it's got like a rounded front. You can see that. This carpet does not look like that one. It also looks wide enough for the 8. So I don't know if this is the wrong carpet in the bag. I don't know. But it's quite a cool, and obviously it's meant to go up against the tent, but I can't be bothered taking off all the guy ropes to do that. It's quite cool. It's meant to. I couldn't find any information about it on the internet, so I thought I'll just show you now. It's meant to allow water through it and remain dry at the top, so you can put your inflatable chair or whatever it is out here in the sunwing. Another thing I just realised is that because of the position of the sun, this sunwing isn't really doing much. Anyway, there you go, that's the carpet. Now I've got to try and put all this stuff away on my own. Catch you later.